Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. How are you guys doing? It's Sunday afternoon and it is March 15th. Oh my gosh, it's already the middle of the month of March, and here we are with so many of us dealing with so many things going on across the country. And yesterday, an article published by the New York Times highlighted some issues that are going on that are impacting people, making it hard for people to find items that they need right now, and highlighting a larger issue of people stockpiling inventory in an effort to resell that said inventory at a very highly inflated price because of the demand for these products right now. Obviously, many of us know that the world is being, we're dealing with a situation related to CV is what we're going to call it on this channel, because YouTube is being ridiculous about this topic. And as it spreads in the United States, we are dealing with a lot of people wanting to make sure that they are safe. And in order to do so, there's been recommendations made by local health departments along with the CDC, including using specific products, hand washing, making sure that you have cleaners that have specific concentrations so that they can disinfect. Having when you go out, hand sanitizer or wipes. They've been recommending, wiping down your doorknobs and just any items that you're going to touch when you are out, just to avoid any sort of contact, because it's a very, very serious situation. And with more and more people becoming faced with the issue, and more states dealing with it, and more people, it's been slowly sort of moving through the states. I feel like it kind of got hit sort of on the coasts because of the travel. And so you had, people on the West Coast, Washington State hit very hard. And then you have New York also hit very hard. But it's sort of migrating now all throughout the United States. I think there's 47 states now that have active cases. My state alone yesterday, we went from 21 to 35 cases. And we just closed our schools because of it. The governor of my state announced that this morning. And a lot of people are having to make a lot of really tough decisions. It's going to mean that kids are, not in school, parents with work. I mean, large events like concerts are being canceled, the NBA, the NHL, they've postponed their seasons, colleges are closing, everything is becoming this standstill. And for some of us, it's a little bit more, I don't even know how to say this. It's for some of us that have children or a loved one, or are someone who is in the higher risk population, this is just a very anxious time for us. Especially if you have someone who is, in your house that is medically fragile or suffers from any sort of chronic illness. My son and I don't talk about him frequently, but I wanted to tell you about it ahead of time. He has heart disease, lung disease. He also has neurological issues, and basically everything that's on the checklist with my Department of Health, my son has. And those are all the risk factors that would make him someone that would be the most likely to, if he got this, have the severest form of it. So that's scary, right? And then when you have a child like that, you know that you're already living in kind of a bubble. We don't really go out anyway. We don't really do things. We don't go places. That's sort of always what our life has been. But in the past few, months, obviously, there's been more and more of these stories going on. And It really didn't hit Minnesota until only like a week ago. It was very rapid how everything came to be. And then now a lot of us are sort of forced to figure out how we're going to get the items. And so yesterday morning, I was like, oh, we need to get some wipes for my husband because he still has to go into the office. And if he's going to go into the office, we want to make sure that he can wipe things down. We want to make sure that he limits his contact with things. We want to make sure that he has all of those things that he needs to stay safe so that he doesn't bring it home to my son. We also need specific cleaners that we don't normally carry because he has like a lot of the cleaners that they are telling people to use right now are not generally used by people that have lung issues or heart disease because they are very odor. They have like a very strong odor that can irritate your lungs. And so when you have asthma or any sort of lung issue, using these harder chemicals can be really, really hard for you. And so these are not traditionally things that we would have in our home. And so yesterday, as I started looking for everything, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't find anything. Where is everything? Like, I was like, oh, I cannot find Lysol. I need wipes. I can't find wipes. I'm on Amazon. I'm on Walmart. I'm on Target. Target told me the closest place that I could go for wipes was 1,500 miles away. And I was like, what? The closest store is 1,500 miles away? How is that even possible? And the more and more I started looking, I started getting more and more irritated because I'm like, why is this so ridiculous? So then I go on to eBay and I'm like, oh, $50, $45, $32, $99 for 3 of those, $90, $89, $100 for these packs, $69, $150, $71, $99. So they say that they're supposed to be taking these products off of eBay. The problem is that as soon as they take them off, a new seller is up with more. But the issue here is that it wouldn't have even mattered if I would have been prepared or if I would have even thought ahead because, well, first off, when do we have time to think ahead of things that we don't even really, like when you're managing your life, you're taking care of your kids, you're working your job, you're trying to, like we have a nursing shortage here. So it's been so crazy to try to manage everything that's been going on in our lives. One of our nurses has been out on leave, which has left us with unfilled shifts. So I have been pulling triple and double, quadruple duties here. And so the last thing at the end of the day is me watching the news and paying attention to what's going on around me. It's mostly like, okay, I gotta work, I gotta get him to school. Oh, we don't have a nurse. I have mom duty now today. Oh, I gotta do his medications. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And so it's like, there's just no time during the day. And so I thought it was interesting because yesterday I was looking for all of these products and I couldn't find them. And I finally found some, I think, at Rite Aid, and I'm gonna send my husband out to go look for wipes today because we still don't have those. But then I saw this article on the New York Times, and it basically said that this guy in New York or in Tennessee has over 17,700 bottles of sanitizer along with the Clorox wipes. And he was gonna basically sell all of these products at a high markup. And he describes himself as this guy that follows trends in the market. And then based on what he expects to be in demand, he and his brother go out and buy all of these things for themselves to resell on Amazon and eBay at a highly marked up price. And if you're talking about tennis shoes that are high in demand or, a doll that's highly in demand, that's one thing. But these guys were going out and buying products that, for cleaning and masks and things that people need to stay healthy. They're not buying shoes. They're not buying a doll. They're not buying a Beanie Baby. It's totally different. Not only that, they make the decision to actually go out and do this on March 1st, which is the same day that the U.S. reports their first person passing away from CV. So what did he and his brother do? Well, according to the New York Times, Matt Colvin and his brother they rented a U-Haul and they took a 1,300 mile road trip and they cleared stores out of products that people would need in order to stay healthy. So they went to Walmart's, Home Depot's, the big box stores, the dollar stores, the gas stations. They basically went to any store in that area over 2 states and cleared everything out. And now in Chattanooga, where he's from, nobody can find anything, and he has it all in his garage. He's not the only one that's doing this, though. There are thousands of other sellers around the country that are doing this. And it's insanity if you think about it, because first of all, how dare you use a situation that we cannot control as a means to profit? How dare you? There's absolutely no reason that anyone should be using this situation as a means to make money and exploit others and force people that need things to pay more for things to keep them safe. Not only that, but you are taking away items from people who are the most at risk, who need these items because they are very, very scared about getting sick. And they know that if they do, they could potentially end up in a very precarious situation. So the article on the New York Times, I'll just show you some of the highlights. It was a very well-written piece. Jack, the writer at New York Times, did a really, really good job. And the interesting part of this is that this seller, Matt, he spoke out because he was like believing that he would be the person that could like call Amazon out for not allowing him to sell his products. Can you think of the arrogance of someone who is like, oh, the New York Times wants to talk to me? Perfect. I'm going to let them know that Amazon is not letting me sell the products that I took from everyone and now no one can get. So he is in Chattanooga, and it says, so he prepared for pallets of even more wipes and sanitizers he has ordered. He started listing them on Amazon. He said that he posted 300 bottles and immediately sold them for $8 to $70 each for one item. An average bottle of this sanitizer costs $1. $1. And he sold them for $70. That's that's like a zillion times like percent. I don't even know what that would be, like a lot of percents. 7,000% markup. Ridiculous. 70,000% markup? I don't even know. It's a lot. I don't do math anyway. And then he was selling multiples for hire that he bought, and he said it was crazy money. To many, it was profiteering from this pandemic. I would agree. Like, why are we profiting off of this when you have products that people need? And so then instead of so he puts all these products up on Amazon, and then the next day Amazon announces, based on the backlash that Amazon was receiving from the wider community on social media, as well as from like lawmakers and their government, saying like, yo, you can't mark up prices when we're doing stuff like this. This is like actually illegal. It's called price gouging. You can't, when there's stuff like a natural, like an emergency going on, you can't do this. And instead of like feeling bad that he went out and bought all these products, he says it's been a huge amount of whiplash from being in a situation where what I've got coming and going could potentially put my family in a really good place financially to what the heck am I going to do with all of this? It's hard to feel sorry for someone who was only thinking about what his family needs during a situation that impacts the entire country. And he has taken resources from 2 states. And there are people in every single state doing this, taking resources from families like mine that need these products, and they can't get them. It's not just selfish, it's self-centered, it's self-serving. And then you're going to charge people, many of which who, like my child and adults that have these issues, are on a fixed income, and you're going to ask them to spend $70 for like a bottle of this. Okay? $70 for a bottle like this. Who is going to pay? This retails for $3. And you're going to charge $70 because you can. When people who are on a fixed income need it. That's not ethical. That's actually illegal. But the interesting thing that the New York Times actually found out that I thought was interesting in this entire story was that not only were the sellers increasing their prices, but Amazon was increasing their prices from the time that everything went, started spreading to today. They were selling hand sanitizers for $40. They had their masks over like $60, $70. I mean, they were doing average prices for wipes over $20. Amazon. The vendor. If you bought it from them, it was still like ridiculously marked up. So not only that, but on Amazon, you can buy directly from Amazon. You can buy from sellers. Same with like an eBay. Amazon takes a cut anywhere from 10 to 30%. eBay takes a cut anywhere from 10 to 30%. So Amazon was allowing this, even though they say that it's against their rules. They're marking up their own prices, which would technically be illegal. And now they're saying, well, we'll work with all of the investigators. And all I could think of was, so Jeff Bezos needs, another $80 bajillion. He literally just bought one of the largest homes in California. And you're going to tell me you're going to charge $30 for some hand sanitizer because you can, Jeff? That's not okay. Look at this price that people were spending on masks. Over $200 for masks. Did you know that hospitals and nurses and stuff, they don't even have enough masks right now because of what these people are doing? And this was one of the parts of this article that I just thought was absolutely ridiculous. He says this truck driver who didn't want to actually say his real name, he says that he feared Amazon will retaliate against him. So he went and got 10,000 masks at stores, and he bought 10 packs for about $20, and he sold them for $80. But some he had highly priced as $125 for 10 masks. And at $125 a box, he said they were selling instantly, and he made anywhere from $35,000 to $40,000 in profit. I can't even and then when the Times actually asked him the morality of what he was doing, Mr. Colvin couldn't even be bothered to think about what he was doing or how he was causing things. Because what happened here was not only did he go into these smaller stores, but he basically went into these very large big box stores to the point that Walmart has nothing, Target has nothing. These large retailers don't have any of these products now because people like him and thousands of other sellers did this exact same thing around the country. And now they don't have anything, which, by the way, all of these sellers are online, so you can buy directly from them online. But he says that he was fixing inefficiencies in the marketplace. No, because Mr. Colvin, you went to Home Depot, you went to Walmart, you went to Target. These are all, I could have bought all of those things at Walmart, at Target, at Home Depot myself at the price that it's supposed to be. But you took all of those from me and others, and now we can't buy them there because you have them all and you had to rent a storage unit to put them all. The audacity of this is insane to me, that people around the country are doing this to people. And then it's putting people like my son and other people like him who already have so many things, all of the entire world is stacked against them. It's hard enough to get through flu and cold season than to have to think about this. Then you get he doesn't even believe that price gouging would adequately define what he's doing. And then he justifies charging what he did, because he'll say, oh, just because it cost me $2 in the store doesn't mean it's not going to cost me $16 to get it to your door. Wanting you to think that he's only taking a $2 profit off of selling 2 bottles for $20. I have a BS meter saying, stop lying. Like, it doesn't cost $16 to send anything to anyone. That's absolutely ludicrous. And then he goes, there's a crushing, overwhelming demand in certain cities right now, and the Dollar General in the middle of nowhere outside of Lexington, Kentucky doesn't have that. Okay, then let those stores who are more, logistically smarter than you manage that, instead of you taking all of the products out of those. And why were there not limits on these products to begin with? Like, why would any store be like, yes, you can completely empty all of our products? Wouldn't that send up a red flag to these store owners? So everyone from in the supply chain that he did this to was motivated by greed. The store owners, Amazon, eBay, everyone that took a piece of this was motivated by greed. And he justifies it and says, I feel like it's a public service. I'm being paid for my public service. No. Like, if you really are a do-gooder, you don't do that. You don't charge people $80 for a box of wipes. That's insane. And then he goes, well, if I can make a slight profit, that's fine. I'm not looking to be in a situation where I make the front page of the news for being the guy who hoarded 20,000 bottles of sanitizer that I'm selling for 20 times what they cost me. That's actually what you did. And not only did you do that, you admitted that it was way more than 20 times. Way more than 20 times the price. So then, as he gets backlash, when this goes live, then he opens up this website, mattcolvin.com, and he writes, the hand sanitizer in the NYT story is being donated to a local church and first responders tomorrow. To which I say, how does that solve the problem? Because what churches are equipped to getting these products to people? They're not churches are like local establishments. They're not outfitted to respond to these types of emergencies. And it's funny that he would say that they were donated, because right after this was published, the Attorney General in Tennessee sent him a letter, and it says in the letter they said, the Tennessee Attorney General has initiated an investigation into your pursuit of the Tennessee Consumer Protection Act of 1977. The Attorney General has reason to believe that you are have engaged in, or about to engage in acts and practices that are declared unlawful by TCPA, relating to your advertising and or sale of hand sanitizer, medical masks, and other medical goods or products. And then it says, in particular, the Attorney General has reason to believe that you are charging grossly unreasonable prices for hand sanitizer, medical masks, and other medical goods or products. Immediately cease and desist making any sales of any kind of these products at prices grossly in excess of the price of such goods or products prior to March 1st. Further, please turn over all hand sanitizer, medical masks, and or medical goods or products in your possession, custody, or control to Investigator Robert West. So they're basically saying, give us what you have or else. And then he's like, I'm going to donate it. I'm pretty sure if the Department of the Attorney General is telling you that you need to give them their stuff, you need to give them their stuff. Because when I was looking up the laws for this, he can actually be charged by, it's not like he would go to jail. It's a civil penalty. But the state of Tennessee can fine him up to $1,000 per infraction. So every sale that he made where he gouged, and say he sold those 300 transactions, he could be charged $1,000 for each one of those by them for doing this. So any profit he made trying to do this would be wiped out by a fine of up to $300,000. Think about that. So now he is saying that he's going to, get rid of everything and donate it, because if it makes all of if it makes all the angry messages he's receiving and the pizza deliveries stop going to his house, he'll be fine. But when the local, I think it was the Fox, either Fox or CBS in Chattanooga interviewed him and asked him, do you feel sorry that you have all these products and you've done this to people? He said no. He said he doesn't feel sorry, but he's just going to take this up as a business loss. So he doesn't feel sorry that in the day that he found out that someone had passed away, he decided that he was going to use that as a method to make a ton of money. And he's not sorry that now people like my son and others can't get these products. And people like my family are sitting here going, we need to make sure that this house stays as clean as possible and that anyone coming into this house is properly cleaned, and that we're not spreading anything in order to make sure that he doesn't end up in a situation where he needs care at a facility that may or may not be filled. Because my best friend and I were on texting last night because both of our children have the same issues: heart disease, lung disease, neurological conditions. And we talked about our fears of these kids potentially getting this disorder, going to the hospital, and there being no beds for them because it's gotten so wide. I mean, that's a real fear, because if our kids were to get it, they would be in the ICU. And then what if there's not enough beds? And the easiest thing that we can do is have products in our home to make sure that things that our children come into contact with are at least clean, so that we can reduce their risk. It's the one thing that mothers in the situation of having a child that's sick are the only thing that's in our control. And people like him have taken that away from us. Not to mention, there are just so many people that aren't going to have these products now, and they're just sitting there at home terrified. And I was angry last night. I was so angry when I was reading this. I was outraged. I was so mad. And I shared this on my Instagram. And do you want to know? I can't even believe people shamed me. I can't believe people made me feel bad that I didn't think ahead, that I didn't know weeks before that I was going to need this stuff. This was well before it was ever in my state. There was never even an inclination of whether or not it would be coming. You never know with these types of things. And it's like, why would you shame me for him and other people doing this to us? Why? Or anyone that lives on a limited budget. Imagine living on disability. You don't have excess funds to go out and buy products, so you get them as you get the money. So it's their fault that you thought ahead. So instead of going at the people that don't have these products and say, I'm way better than you because I thought ahead and I got all these products, bite your tongue. It's not helpful. And you're not actually better than anyone because you thought ahead at all. You're not. The problem isn't the people that didn't think ahead or even know ahead of time, because how would you know ahead of time? These people have been doing this for weeks. Weeks, these products have not been available. So just because you yourself have them, you're suddenly going to make other people feel bad for not. When literally other people have been taking these out of it, making it impossible for people to find. Not helpful at all. So yes, people shamed me. You just need to Katie, you just need to think ahead. What were you doing? You're a mother of a child that has these issues. You should have known better. Right. So Matt Colvin and all you other sellers out there that made this choice, Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and everyone at eBay, and any company that is marking prices up right now, shame on you. I hope to the fullest extent of the law that lawmakers, that the attorney generals, and that even federal prosecutors clamp down on you and clamp down on you hard. A $300,000 fine would be appropriate, but I would be happier if you were in jail, because what you did not only took people, like things that people need to survive, but you also have put this entire market into a tailspin where everyone is so desperate for these items, it's causing stores to sell out as soon as they go into stock, because you overburdened the market and you aren't offering a service. So if there was jail time for you, I would be so happy with that. And if anyone actually becomes ill because of what you've done, I feel like that's your responsibility too. Profit should never come when we are dealing with essential items during a situation like this, period. And I am using my platform because I don't normally talk about this, but hey, I'm going to use it for all of you guys that don't have a voice, don't have a choice. So please be safe. Please wash your hands. Please stay away from other people as much as possible and do your best to keep yourself and others around you safe. All right, you guys, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me on the stream. Let me know what your thoughts are. Comments will probably be held for this video. I will be turning off live chat as well because the replay will probably cause some restriction issues. Thank you so much for hearing me out. Matt Colvin, you deserve every bit of the hate that you're getting right now. Bye.